In this video, we are going to discuss the linked list data structure and the iterative algorithm to search a key in a linked list. I will give you a line-by-line simple explanation of all the code that we will be writing in this video. Watch this video till the end, as I will also show you visually how to construct logic while writing linked list algorithms. My name is Aditya Shenoy from Brainy Things, where I make programming simple and fun. YouTube statistics show that some of you who watch my videos are not subscribed to this channel, so if you end up liking this video, please consider subscribing. It is free and you can always change your mind in future. Before constructing the linked list class, let's first create the node class. So I will create a class, I will name it as node. Inside this, I will define a constructor by defining the _init function. And apart from self parameter, this constructor will have a data parameter so that we can set self.data is data. This data will be the data inside the node in the linked list. And as the linked list that we are constructing will be a singly linked list, each node in the linked list will have a next pointer. So we will set self.next is none. Initially, these next pointers will point to none values, but as we construct the linked list, these next pointers will point to other node objects. So this is all we need to write for the node class. So I will execute this. And now we can start writing the code for the linked list class. So I will again create a class and name it as linked list. And inside this, I will again define the constructor by defining again the _init function. As in the previous videos, we have already covered how to insert nodes in the linked list. I will put that logic to insert nodes in the linked list inside the constructor itself. So apart from self parameter, I will have an array of elements. If you are not sure how to insert nodes in the linked list, you can definitely check out the videos that I have linked in the iCard above and in the description below. So we will first set self.head to a none value, and then we will iterate for elements in the array. But inside this for loop, we will be inserting nodes at the beginning of the linked list. So to maintain the order of the data present inside the array and in the final linked list, we need to traverse the array in reverse. So I will use a slice operator like this, :-1, so that the array is reversed and then the elements are traversed in the for loop. So inside the for loop, we will use the 3 lines that is used to insert nodes at the beginning of the linked list. So first we will construct the new node by calling the constructor of the node class and pass the element that will be the data inside the node. Next, we will set new node's next pointer to the current self.head, and the self.head will be updated to this new node like this. If you are not sure how these 3 lines work, you can definitely check out the videos that I have linked in the iCard and the description below. Next, we need to write the utility function to convert this linked list object to a string function, so that we can pass the custom linked list object inside the print function directly. And that will help us to visualize the linked list by just printing that linked list. So for that, we need to define the _string function like this with just the self parameter. Inside the string function, we will first construct a empty list like this result, and we need to traverse all the nodes in the linked list. So we will start that traversal from self.head. While there are nodes in the linked list, we need to append to the result list the string representation of node.data. And after we append the node.data to the result, we need to traverse to the next node in the list. So we will do node equal to node.next. And once the node becomes none, that is, we have reached the end of the linked list, we will break out of the while loop and we need to return an arrow separated string that will join all the elements present inside the result list. So this is all we need to write for the constructor of the node class, linked list class, and the utility function to convert linked list objects to string objects. Now we can start writing the code to search a key inside the linked list. So for that, I will define a function. I will name it as search iterative, as we will be writing iterative code in this video. And apart from self parameter, this we need to pass the key that we need to find. Like, the function should know which key we are talking about. So this is the only parameter that we will require, and inside this the result will be the index of the node, that is zero based index, in which the key is found. And if the key is not found, we will return -1. So we need to check for all the nodes. We need to traverse all the nodes from self.head to the end of the linked list until we find any node that has the data matching with the key. To start traversing the linked list from self.head, we need to make a temporary variable node that will point to self.head, and we need to keep track of the index of the current node. So self.head is at index 0. Now, while there are nodes in the linked list, you can notice that even though like if the linked list is empty, that is this self.head is none, then also this condition will work, because node is none and it will break out of the while loop. So it will cover all the boundary cases as well. So while there are nodes in the linked list, we need to check if node.data matches the key. If it matches, we already have the index stored separately, so we can return that. If that doesn't match, we need to traverse for the next element. So we will set node equal to node.next, and also index should be incremented by 1. So index plus equal to 1, so that the index matches the index of the node that this variable is pointing. This while loop will break when the normal condition, like the key is found and it returned the index. But if there is no node that has the data key, so this return statement will not work and it will break out of the while loop when this node becomes null. And at that time we can be sure that no node has a data that matches key. So we can straight away return -1 at the end of the while loop. So this is the code that we need to write for searching a key inside a linked list. That is the iterative version of the search function. Now let's visualize this code to understand this code better. So let's assume that we have a linked list containing two nodes, and each linked list will have a head pointer. So first we will create that, and two nodes. So this is how the linked list will look like. This is a sample linked list where there are two nodes in the linked list. The head is pointing to the first node in the linked list, and the final linked list next pointer is pointing to a none value. Suppose we want to search for the key 1, that is the first node's data. So we need to keep track of the two variables over here. So first will be the node variable, and that will initially point where self.head is pointing. So this will point to node 1 over here. And we also need to keep track of the index. So I will keep that over here only. So index is 0. While node, so node is not pointing to a none value, so this will become true. If node.data, so this data will be compared to the key, and key is 1, so this will become true in the first iteration itself, and it will return 0, which is correct because 0 based indexing, 1 is present at index 0. So this condition is true, and temporary variables will be deleted like this. Now let's assume that we need to find the key 2 over here, that is present at index 1, so it should return 1. So again the function will start and it will point where self.head is pointing. So a node variable will be created that will point to node 1, and an index variable will be created that will track the current index of the node. So it will be initialized as 0. While there are nodes in the linked list, yes, node is not none, but if node.data is key, condition will become false and it will proceed with these two statements. So node is node.next, so this arrow will now point to node 2, and index index will be incremented by 1. So 0 will become 1. Now again, while node, it will again loop back over here. While node is not none, this will become true if node.data equal to 2. Yes, node's data is 2, key is 2. So this will become true and it will return index 1. That is expected answer and it is the correct answer. Now what will happen if the key that is passed inside the function is not present at all in the linked list? So in that case, let's see what happens. Suppose we pass a data 3 or any other value that is not present in 1 or 2. So again, let's say we have passed key equal to 3. So again, the function will start by tracking the node that will initially point where self.head is pointing, and an index that tracks the index of the node. So this will track 0. While node is not none, it will become true. Node.data is not equal to 3. This will become false. Node equal to node.next. So this will point to node 2 and index will be incremented by 1. So this will become 1. And again, the while loop will proceed. It will check while node. So node is again not none. If node.data equal to 3, this will become false again. Node equal to node.next. And this index will be incremented by 1. So 1 will become 2. Now again, while loop will check while node. So node is now none. So this will become false over here. And this indicates that we have checked for all the nodes present in the linked list and we have not found any node that has data that matches key. So at this point we can return -1. So a -1 value will be returned. So as you can see, all the boundary cases as well as non-boundary cases is covered by our code. So as we are sure that our code works for all the cases, we can execute this code and we can write actual code to test this. So I will create a linked list object by calling the constructor of the linked list class. We need to pass an array of elements inside the constructor. Again, I will use the same example, that is 1 and 2. First, let's see whether the linked list has been constructed correctly or not. So I will print the linked list, and yes, 1 arrow 2. This print function is working because we have defined this string function over here that knows how to convert a linked list to a string to be printed. So now we can print linked list dot search iterative, and let's say we pass a key equal to 1. Yes, it is at index 0. Let's say we pass key equal to 2. It is at index 1. And let's say we pass any random value, that is 5, and it should return -1. So any value other than 1 or 2 or any other value that is not present in the linked list should return -1. Now also we should consider that if the linked list has more than one same values, that is 1 is present multiple times, the node with the lowest index having data 1 will be returned. So for example, if we have 1, 1 and 2 and we pass 1, although there are two candidates, that is node at index 0 and index 1, we have node 1s, still it will return 0 index because that is the first and lowest index having key equal to 1. So this is how you write an iterative code to search an element in a linked list. The time complexity for this algorithm is linear, that is O of n, as the element that we are trying to find can be at the end of the list or not present at all, and hence we have to traverse the entire list in the worst case. The space complexity of the iterative code is constant, that is O of 1. So definitely use the iterative code unless you are specifically asked to write the recursive code. If you ended up liking this video, please press that like button, comment any feedback that you have for this video or this channel, share this video with your friends. The code that I write in all my videos of this channel is available in my GitHub profile, whose link is in the description. You can connect to me via LinkedIn, whose link is again in the description. If you want to see a line-by-line explanation of data structures and algorithms like this, check out the playlist over here. If you want to learn Python built-in functions along with various Python features, tips, tricks, and real project examples, then check out the playlist over here. If you want to see a hands-on game development project, check out the playlist over here. And I will see you in the next video.